Okay, if anybody is watching this or ends up watching this, I just want you to know I'm just learning this software right now. I have no idea how to use this. It's kind of cool, huh? But anyway, this is a sort of new feature with YouTube. It's pretty cool. You have to download another program to use in conjunction with the YouTube on your browser, and it works. I apologize for if anyone. I apologize to those 86 people who saw my previous testing. Forgot to delete that. That's okay. So bear with me. You don't have to watch right now if you don't want. I'm just, like I said, figuring this out. Okay, well, I guess I'll just do my report here, and I'll edit this later. Here is a rundown of the situation in Oregon. I have posted links in the description. Highly recommend you check them out. So here's basically what's going on. The Justice Department, Obama's Justice Department, under Loretta Lynch now, plagued with all kinds of law breaking and scandal. Can't even get into it all. Operation Fast and Furious, and so many things. So this whole fabricated protests for. Anyway, this Justice Department wants to imprison a 75-year-old man and his son for 5 years for burning grass on their ranch, which is part of the job of ranching. Totally unjust right there. Initially, these people at the BLM, they're some individuals that are basically abusing the law, and of course they are, and they're going after the Hammonds. It's more like they're basically the driving force, and they're using their political connections to go after the Hammonds. And it is Democratic, Obama loyal Democrats. I hope this microphone's working. I think it is. Testing. Yeah, okay, I see a line. Hopefully that's working. Alright, I'm just going to delete this. If you're listening right now, bear with me. Or I guess you don't have to watch, I don't know. Let's see. Bear with me, I'll tell a few jokes. Thing right now, I'm trying to focus on other things. So. You know, this stuff is so overwhelming, the injustice that's being done to these people, and it's just an outrage. It's so much. It's so frustrating. It's really hard to get the words out and format these things into organized, detailed report, and do it quickly. But you know, it's not just the Hammonds. There are a lot of people in this country being targeted by left-wing Marxist people, basically, that are, you know, largely loyal to Obama for the most part. And I'll just say at the introduction here, I guess, that what this is coming down to, the overall big picture. It's not about the Hammonds. It isn't. It's about laws versus lawlessness, and this Justice Department has been completely lawless. It's been the whole Obama administration, and it's been, you know, Democrats as a whole for a long time. It's like Donald Trump said, this country's being overrun by criminals. Some states, some cities. It's been going on a long, long time, and and just now it's really at a boiling point at the federal level. You know, this president has committed treason. He's aided terrorist organizations. You know, what's it going to take? And then they're trying to charge a 75-year-old man and his son with terrorism and put him in jail for 5 years for burning grass. It's just completely lawless. You know, that right now, Hammond, Bundy, and Stewart Rhodes, both keepers have a difference of opinion in how to handle the situation. The Hammonds have pretty much stated that, you know, they don't want to, they have stated that they don't want to have an armed standoff. And, but, you know, on the other hand, they are, you know, it's on record, they're being intimidated by the BLM, by the government, by the Justice Department right now. Not to speak with Bundy or anybody about this. Just shut up and take it. So, okay, well, here's a quick summary. The Hammonds and a lot of other ranchers, not just in Oregon but across the country, are the targets and have been for a long time of a long list of abuses. I'm including the links in the description here. For the Hammonds, it began back in the early 90s. Some of the things, and if I miss anything, please let me know in the comment section, but some of the things that the BLM has done to attack the Hammonds and their business have been to fence off water supplies, lawful water supplies that cattle need. We fence those off unlawfully. Excessive fines and fees. They've set fire to their land and burned down a house. I don't know if that was their main house. They burned down their house and other structures on the property. They killed and injured cattle with fire. They were, I don't have this right in front of me, but they were they were maliciously targeted by government employees who abused of power multiple times, falsely charged with terrorist arson. See, it's so frustrating, I can't even get the words out. Subjected to double jeopardy twice in a court of law. Smeared in the media as terrorists and arsonists. We all know how the mainstream media, totes the Marxist line and agenda. So their names and reputations were smeared in the media. They were falsely imprisoned. And I can't remember their name, I'm sorry. The old man was in prison for 3 months, and the son for 1 year. Again, their land, house, and structures were burnt by the BLM, and that was just 2 days after they were re-sentenced to 5 years. They're scheduled to report in about 7 hours from now, I think. 8 hours maybe. They were forced to pay a $400,000 fine. Now they've already paid $200,000. They had until the end of 2015 to pay the other $200,000. I'm not sure I don't know if they made the deadline or not. If they did not, then they forfeit their property and in effect BLM, they have to give first option of selling to the BLM, which is totally unlawful, and it shows their true motivations there, the BLM, to just simply, they're out to acquire land at all costs. It's just like the old Western movies where, like, bad cattle baron would burn out other ranchers and farmers and such to acquire their property. Well, it's just like that, except it's on steroids, and it's the U.S. government agency doing it, and a bunch of scumbag lawyers and other associates. So, anyway, I know I'm missing a lot of other things that a lot of other rights of their rights that have been violated. Please put them in the comment section if you think of some. And on the other hand, the Justice Department is going after the Hammonds so hard. They are so out for justice against the Hammonds, those evil, probably Christian, ranchers. And on the other hand, Obama has funded ISIS, has armed ISIS. Hillary Clinton involved in the Benghazi deal. That was an arms deal involving ISIS. I'm coming to find out, CIA people are saying. I don't have that in front of me. That's not the point with that. But these are just some of the things that the Justice Department, among other federal agencies, are ignoring. Other crimes committed by Obama. Illegal war in Libya, where he bypassed Congress. Nobody has ever done that in history. And basically declared loyalty to the UN in that. Come to find out, the group he was supporting in Libya unilaterally turned out to be former Al-Qaeda in Iraq. And that's from a West Point Center for Counterterrorism report, 2 reports actually, which I've included the links in the description. That's who Obama, so that's material aid to a terrorist organization by our military, ordering our military to fly air support for them, without really them knowing. Everything happened so fast, you know. And then, besides that, he's a whole other thing in Syria now. Please read these reports from West Point. Whole issue in Syria. I'm not even going to get into that. It's so much. You know what I'm saying. Okay, this Operation Fast and Furious was the complete border overrunning of the border with Mexico. Meanwhile, and of course, the omnibus package that he passed, where now he's importing ISIS terrorists into this country under the name of now Syrian refugees. It is, yeah. These are the people that Russia is chasing out of Syria now. So now Obama is calling them refugees and importing terrorists into this country. And unfortunately, you know, I don't see any way around, like, other than we're going to get hit by terrorists. You know, I mean, come on, that's what's going on. And he's doing it. And I mean, how much of an enemy does he have to make himself before, like, our military steps in and arrests him? So, anyway, what else? He's severely weakened the military, and of course, our military personnel can't carry guns most of the time. You know, our veterans being treated like really, really bad. How about all the Iraq and Afghanistan vets, especially Iraq vets, who've lost limbs, have their body parts, faces blown off, worse. It's just ridiculous what he's done. And now he's on the other side. He's on the side of the guys who did that. So, what else? I don't know. Oh, Hillary Clinton. They don't prosecute Hillary Clinton. Right now, Hillary Clinton's being investigated by the FBI. Just what information is public, just what's known to the public, she should be definitely facing at least 10 years in prison. Just for what she's done. Just like what we know so far. And that's not even including things like contempt of Congress. So, and then of course Lois Lerner, Justice Department announced semi-recently that they would not be filing any charges against Lois Lerner in her being caught targeting conservative groups with the IRS, abusing government authority with the IRS to target conservative groups. And you know, it wasn't just the IRS that was being used to go after people. That wasn't the only government agency. Recently, one of Obama's good friends, actually, here's one you might not know. One of Obama's good friends, rapper Rick Ross. That's not his real name. He stole it from a real gangster, apparently. But Rick Ross is telling his listeners to assassinate Donald Trump in a new rap song of his. You know, he's telling his mindless listeners to assassinate Donald Trump. And that's somebody that's hung out at the White House. I think Obama's even said, like, you know, talked about how they've hung out and everything. So, I mean, here's this rapper calling to assassinate Donald Trump, the #1 leading candidate for president. Republican, pro-Christian, pro-America. Oh, but the Justice Department ignores that. In fact, recently, Loretta Lynch said she had no comment, or her department said that. I included the link in the description for that. So, the difference of opinion in the two factions of the militia here, I'm going to say, there's the Oath Keepers, and then there's pretty much Hammond Bundy and the militias that are, that he's with, that are with him, whatever. Oath Keepers and Stuart Rhodes, I understand absolutely clear why he takes the position that he does. They weren't invited. They received letters from the Hammonds attorney saying they basically don't want them there. How are you going to go help somebody if you're not really allowed them at property or anything? Well, I guess Hammond, Bundy, and the militias had a plan for that. They just simply took over Federal Wildlife Headquarters, and where the BLM is headquartered, and they just took it. It was unoccupied holiday weekend, and that's where they differ, because now let's face it, it's an illegal act, what they did technically, and but it's not an unjust act, and I believe it's a righteous act, because people are sick and tired of the law only working one way. Is what it comes down to. People are frustrated. People have had enough. The laws only cut one way in this country, and if you're a Democrat with enough clout, loyal to Obama and everything else, the precedent is that you can get away with any crime, if you're connected enough or whatever. I mean, the evidence is very clear, and people are sick of that. So that's where the Oath Keepers and Bundy and the militias there, that's where they have their difference of opinion. My opinion is they're both right, and elaborate on that for a long time, but basically they're both right. That's all I can really say. We'll see how things go. Hopefully this will just be, just basically like a peaceful sitting, so to speak, and hopefully there won't be any bad things happen, because the truth is, the real enemy of our country, the real enemy, wants police and patriots to fight each other. It's like a divide and conquer strategy, basically. And basically, this third party, this enemy, does everything it can to try to stir a confrontation between patriots and police, and that's why we just have to do everything we can not to let that happen. So. Hopefully it'll be just like a peaceful sit-in, but apparently that's up to the Justice Department, is what it comes down to. That's, it's not me saying this, of course. I'm not even there. I'm, very far away, but that's what it's about. That's what the ball is in their court, and it's about right and wrong. It's about laws versus lawlessness, and the militias in Oregon are on the side of laws. The media is going to try and spin that. They're going to say exactly what I said. They're going to say this is about the rule of law and whatnot. Right. Except they're going to have it backwards. It's a Marxist thing. One of the people that had a hand in the second case of double jeopardy against the Hammonds and sending them back to prison for 5 years was Solicitor General... Donald Verrilli, Jr., the Solicitor General in Obama's Justice Department, overturned the previous judge's sentencing, which is very rare, and then basically an activist judge, Judge Ann Aiken, she's basically a pro-homosexual marriage activist judge. She then resentenced them to 5 years in prison, and but she didn't take them in right away. She's giving them time to whatever. What it comes down to is, like, there's a big thing going on here in a way. Bear with me. I can't be specific, but like they want the Hammonds to just walk into prison on their own free will. And personally, I believe that they cannot, will not ever be put in prison unless they walk in there on their own free will. I think they have a choice in that. They're just very afraid right now. Anyway, something else interesting I came across here. The prosecutor who originally prosecuted the Hammonds for the terrorist arson, it's possible she was strong-armed. She, it looks like, was going after the former governor John Kitzhaber. John Kitzhaber, longest-serving governor in Oregon history. He's a Democrat with an F rating from the NRA. And Amanda Marshall, the prosecutor, apparently her and other state officials were going after Kitzhaber for some undisclosed crimes. We don't know what it is. I guess he resigned though. Basically, it sounds like he resigned in return for things being dropped. But it looks like they may have gone after her after that because basically one of her co-workers accused her of having an extramarital affair with him, and he reported that to his superiors at the Justice Department, saying he's some kind of victim who tried to break off the relationship. And it just, my bullshit meter, pardon the expression, is going off on that one. It kind of sounds like she's just falsely accused, being smeared in the media. I have a link to that in the description. So it's like there might be some higher politics going on. Maybe she didn't want to prosecute the Hammonds. Maybe she was pressured into it at that point. I didn't research a lot. Either way, even if it's a separate issue, it's interesting. But so that might have been retaliation for her going after apparent criminal John Kitzhaber and his wife, it says. So they're scheduled to report for prison tomorrow. Today, I guess, which is, I think about 8 hours from now. And one question I have is, why hasn't the sheriff arrested BLM employees for setting fire to the Hammonds' property and burning their structures down? I mean, that's just so lawless, you know? That's just it, you know? I mean, they convicted the Hammonds as terrorists for burning their field, which is normal for ranchers. And then the BLM comes in and burns their house down, burns their property, and it's completely lawless. There's nobody arresting them, charging them with anything. And that's what this is about. I mean, like I said, you know, Stewart Rhodes, the legality of what Bundy and the militias are doing up there. People are sick of the law only working one way, and this is a good example. And just people don't like seeing an old man being picked on, or a good family being picked on. You know, what are we supposed to sit back and take that? You know. So that's why they did what they're doing. I guess that's about it. I think I covered about everything else. Try and give some updates as I can get them, and if I come across any other anomalies, discrepancies, I'll report them. So thanks for watching. Thanks for bearing with me on the live stream here. And check back. Afternoon, still watching, like I said. Just learning this software now. I don't even know if the microphone's working. The whole thing might mention nothing. Oh, I'm wasting it.